Welcome to the Black Chicago Museum, a museum that teaches the history of African American people who resided right here in Chicago, Illinois, starting from the 1700s on up to the present time. Today, we are going to start the first of several art tours. We are going to begin with Baptiste Pointe Dusable. We're going to start with a tour of his life, and then we're going to lead you in a fun art project. I hope you enjoy. Who was he? Baptiste Pointe Dusable was a man of African descent who came to Chicago around the mid to late 1700s. And when he came and noticed this image that you see right here. This is what Chicago looked like at the time, a frontier town, filled with people who were Native American, known as the Potawatomi. He built relationships with the Potawatomi, and he was able to build the first permanent settlement here in Chicago, Illinois. Yes, he was the first man of African descent to build the first permanent settlement here in Chicago, Illinois. So all the buildings that you see today in 2021, he was the first man of African descent to start that idea. What idea do you have? Let's look at his settlement. So he built a bakehouse, a dairy, a workshop, a poultry house, a horse stable, a smokehouse, a barn, and his very own home for his family. With his permanent settlement, he was able to help the community with buying and selling goods. This way, people wouldn't have to go looking for food and things that they needed to survive. He provided a place for them to go to trade and get the things that they need. Baptiste Pointe Dusable was a carpenter, which helped him to be able to build the permanent settlements here in Chicago. So today we are going to build a permanent settlement just like Baptiste Pointe Dusable. Miss Brown is going to lead us, and I'm going to follow, and you're going to follow, and we're going to have fun. So let's get to it.
Alrighty. So there are three important things that we must remember before we begin. Is that okay?
That's okay.
All right, so one of the first important things is to remember that although we're really excited to create our own trading post or permanent settlement, the process is really important. So just like when you're baking a cake.
Process,
Absolutely.
number one.
Just like when you're baking a cake, you can't just throw all the ingredients into the pot at once. You have to take it one step at a time. So that's very important that we remember. The process is the fun part as well. The other thing that we must remember before we even begin is to prepare our space.
Preparation.
Absolutely. So if you notice, our space is covered with plastic. If you don't have any plastic, perhaps you can have some newspaper or anything, but you want to make sure you have enough space. This particular project is not very particularly messy, but it can be because we do have water and we have we have paint, and so that can be messy. So make sure that you prepare your space first. The other very important thing that we must remember and keep in mind at all times is to be mindful of our materials and take care of our materials. Okay?
Materials.
Very, very important. So we know that our hands are our tools, our eyes are our tools, but also our glue and our brushes and our boards and everything that we're using, they're very important. And we probably don't have a whole lot of them, or they, can get messed up. So we want to be mindful of that. So as we're talking about materials, let's start and look at the materials that we have for this project. We have here, you'll have in your set 2 pieces of board. They're called clipboard, and you may have some extra little pieces of board here. You're going to need that. The next thing you're going to need as well is your casting strips. So these are materials where if you ever break a bone or anything, and they wrap this material on this. It's very good for modeling, and so we'll need that, and that should be in your kit as well. A bowl with some water, glue. You also have various colors of paint, and last but not least, you'll have these small little cups. And so those are the supplies that you're going to need to begin. So let's start.
I'm ready.
Okay, so first thing you're gonna need, you can put your paint to the side, and Miss Lawson is gonna actually be the person creating this for us. So you wanna take your 2 pieces of board, you have 2 pieces. One may be a little bit smaller than the other. You're gonna take the smaller one with the lighter side facing down with the words facing up. And go ahead and grab your glue. You're gonna pour some glue into one of your bowls there.
How much should I pour?
Just go ahead and pour.
Okay, just pour. Have fun pouring.
Yeah, we want to pour a generous amount. It's okay. You're gonna use all of it. That's fine.
But don't make a mess, guys.
Okay, so we can see how much we have there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our cups, and just simply because this is just an easy way, of course, there's other ways that you can add glue to your cup, and that's all we're gonna do. You're just gonna take the top rim of your cup, and you're just gonna get you some glue. Just twist it on in there.
All right, so I'm taking this top rim of my cup and I'm placing it inside the
Yeah, just get you
glue,
some glue in there. Don't be afraid. We covered our space there.
twirling it around.
And then you're gonna put your cup right there on the corner.
Okay, and I'm going to carefully put my cup on the board.
Just like that. And if you notice here the way the cups are set up, and I would suggest that a good idea that you set your cups up because they may arrive stacked. So unstack them first, and then you're going to alternate. So now you take your other cup, grab a little glue. Uh-oh, other side. Wrong way, sorry. Oh, no, that's right. So right next to it. And don't be afraid. So you're just going to do that. You want to move a little bit quickly because we want them to dry. We have to leave time for them to dry. So Miss Lawson, you go ahead and continue on all the way across your board.
So I rotate down, up,
Yep.
Okay.
And you should have about 15.
Should I put one right here?
Yes. So I
Okay.
want to make sure that they are in the corner and keep them close to the corner. And again, if you get a little, you can bring your bowl closer to your.
I did it the wrong way.
It's okay. No, you didn't. It's
I'll
okay.
put it
Yep.
right here.
Absolutely.
So when you do it the wrong way, just find a new space for it, guys. It's okay to
Make
Make
mistakes.
mistakes.
Absolutely. That's the beauty about art. Some of our best mistakes are our most beautiful work. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Because sometimes we can't think too hard and we want it to be perfect. I know so many perfectionists that are artists. But nothing, no. We want to go right around the edge. So we don't need to go on the inside. We're going to go forward around the edge.
Okay.
Yes. And if you find that you don't have a lot of room in the corner, that's okay. Just keep following around the edge. You want to move a little quicker.
Okay.
There you go.
It's gonna try.
Very good, very good. And if you notice that it kind of hangs around on the edge there, I'm gonna just move this a little bit closer so our friends can see. If it's kind of hanging off the edge, that's okay. We can just move it up. And here we notice that we want it to be as close to the corner as we can. Keep going. I'm just minding your business. It is perfectly fine. Okay? Awesome. So again, the process is fun.
Alrighty.
All right, so again, hanging off the edge, we can move it a little bit. And now we're going to take our glue, this is some really good glue,
So
and
some
we're
more
going
glue.
to just line the edge of our cups for each cup with glue. And if it spills, that's okay. We carefully, as much as we can, on the edge. So I'm going to give that to you, and you just go right on the edge as much as possible
Around each cup.
around each cup.
Okay, guys, so this next step, I'm taking the glue and I'm just squirting just a little bit out around each cup, which may be a little challenging for me.
And it's okay. And see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Miss Lawson, are you an artist?
I don't know. I'm learning.
And so a lot of times we can feel that way. We don't feel very confident because, oh no, my glue is dripping a little bit. I'm not an artist. No, it happens. It's fine. We have a little bit more, that is fine. Doing very good, Miss Lawson.
Thank you.
And I want to remind us all that we are all artists. We create, and again, just like your handwriting, everybody's handwriting may not look the same, but we still communicate our messages, right?
Okay.
Awesome. And see, that didn't even take so long. And the other thing is we don't have to rush. We can take our time. So now you want to take your other piece of board there.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's
the
my
board.
second board.
Yep, and you're just going to flip it so the words are down.
Okay.
And then you're just going to just place it right on top. Place it right on top. And you want to, because yeah, so right on top like that. So if you can show on top there, this one is kind of hanging over. This is the bigger one. So we just want to make sure that our bottom is even. And kind of think of it as we're building our own settlement, right?
Yes.
Right, so now we are delving more into the fun part. This is the part where we get our hands a little dirty. So we have here our masking strips. And again, like I mentioned earlier on, these are just little strips that they use when you break an arm or a limb that they use to cast your arm. So you're going to take your strip, and you want to make sure that you have a bowl of water. And again, you want to be very, very mindful of these strips that they don't get wet until you're ready for them to get wet. And so I'm just going to demonstrate really quickly. You want to make sure that your structure that you already have and it's dry, and you have your design on it. And you're just going to dip your strip in and just place it right on over. And it's okay if it wrinkles, because as it's wet, you can get to smooth this stuff down. And it's very, very sturdy once it dries. But once you first put it on, it can get kind of flimsy. So you go ahead and grab your strip.
Okay.
That's fine, that's one.
Okay.
And you pull it right through.
Now, where am I going to put the strip
You're going
once
to
I
put the
have
strip in the water.
it? No, I mean, but once after
You
I...
decide. So you want to make sure that you go
So
around.
is it going to go over my design?
For now, yes. This is just a
Okay.
foundation. It's okay. You'll still be
Okay.
able to have your design.
Okay.
That's a very good question. So you can put it right next to that first strip,
Okay.
and you can overlap it a little bit.
Okay.
Awesome. And you'll notice that on one side it has a little bit more texture than the other. So this side is a little bit flatter, and this one side has a little bit more texture. So again, if you notice, a little flimsy, but as you go along, you just keep smoothing it. This is the fun part as well. This is kind of like a meditative thing. As you go, you want to smooth.
Is this next piece okay?
Yes, the next piece is okay. Just to kind of remind you that as you go, you can smooth it because it becomes more sturdy. But go ahead, keep going.
Okay. This is fun.
Yes. And the great thing about these is that you can just kind of lay them across. Like I said, once they're wet, they work really well. And then as they get dry, they get sturdier. So what I would do is start going on the bottom, because this top here gets kind of tricky.
Okay.
And you just want to make it sturdier at the bottom. So go right on that corner. Don't be afraid of that corner. Awesome. Yep. And you can just smooth it right on down around that corner as well. Yep, just like that. Just like you're wrapping a present. We just came from Christmas. Do you know how to wrap presents really good?
No.
No, you don't? Well, that's okay. You wrap this one pretty good. All right. And you just put the next one right on top and cover that, overlap that some, and it is perfectly okay.
And
so
I
wanna
think the
remind
more you do it, the better you get.
Absolutely. I just want to remind you as you go, because we can see how this is smooth and nice, but don't forget about this side.
Oh, okay.
You want to keep smoothing it as you go.
Okay.
And again, you use in the beginning, use a gentle touch to smooth it, because you'll notice when it's still wet, it'll move around a lot. But as it starts to dry, you can't really smooth it as much. So as you go, you want to just see, like here, you notice that it's nice and smooth. And you have a really solid structure the more that you smooth it. So you see the little holes, just add a little water. to get rid of those holes. But again, you gotta kind of move quickly with the smoothing, because like I said, it'll be wet and it'll be easy to work with, but as it starts to dry, you'll find that, can't really smooth it that well.
And so I'm doing this all around the trading post.
All around, so go ahead, keep going. Just wanna
Okay.
just to remind you as you go, just keep smoothing.
Okay, so I'm gonna add layers all around this
Just,
post.
so we're gonna do
Is
one
that
layer at a
correct?
time, one layer at a time.
Okay.
All right, very good. So again, just to remind you to just smooth it down as you go. And this is a fun part, because then you begin to see how it smooths. And one question you asked Ms. Lawson was about the layers. So you do one layer all around,
Okay.
and then once you finish with that layer, we're gonna put another layer.
Wow.
And you should have enough strips in your package to do one whole layer. But I just want you guys to see that you do it nice and neat and you smooth it around, and you don't have to pile a whole bunch of strips on to hurry up and do it. Take your time, go all the way around, and it'll be nice and neat, and you'll be a lot happier with it. Because it's really easy, just smooth it. And so like here, even if it's not really smooth for that first layer, it's okay, because once you go on that second layer, you'll be able to smooth it. Okay? Doing a great job. How you feeling right now?
I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Okay, do you feel like you're doing it correctly?
I think so.
It happens. I'm glad that you're being honest, because when we do things like that, just artistic things,
Yeah.
a lot of times we are very, very critical.
Yeah.
The older we get, I notice that we do that. Younger people, they know that they're creative. They know that it's their imagination, and they're very pretty open to that. And so now, since you made it there, I just want to have you start back at the top here,
Okay.
just so our friends can see how you're going to close that gap. So you just lay it right across, same way. Okay. Yep. And actually, you can mold it to the shape of the box.
Okay.
And just lay it right
Now,
for now.
should I get bigger pieces for?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. You're just gonna lay it and smooth it. And again, it's a little flimsy now. You
Okay.
just lay it across, and it's okay. And the same thing you've been doing.
Okay.
Bye.